All right, hello. Um, this is a little bit of a follow-on from the video that I did on It's Raining Again, the Supertramp decode with this particular scene in the future, um, with Back to the Future 2. Okay, and if you recall, we were connecting back with this alleyway, and there were several things that happened in the video for It's Raining Again by Supertramp that tied in with this particular scene, not to mention the release dates and all the rest of it. We had Marty pulling his pockets out that matched up with the the music video. We had the female cops in the music video. The fact that this alleyway is in this, and there is an alleyway in that music video. There's been several things. One little thing that just happened that was just a weird synchronicity. Actually, for today's date, Google have got this up with this wheel. Notice also the fire hydrant here as well. But the wheel with the wrench on it to undo the wheel. And this is kind of interesting because, of course, in that music video, there was a wheel missing off of the dude's car. Okay, so there was a back wheel missing. Well, get this. This is just a little personal reference, but Saturday, which would have been the 30th, me and my wife went to town to go shopping. Anyway, she was driving to my in-laws first of all to pick up my mother-in-law. We was going to take her. We took her with us, and what was interesting is on the way we got a few miles down the road, and there was a car pulled up on the side of the road. It's not unusual to see this in America, but there was a car pulled up, in an entrance to a field, with a jack under the back end of it, on one side with it jacked up with a wheel missing. Obviously, somebody got a flat tire and had to go to town, didn't have a spare, and get it fixed. So it's not unusual to see that every once in a while in America. It happens. Anyway, we got a few more miles down the road, and I saw another car just like it. I said, "That is very strange." I said it to my wife. I said, "That's the second car now that's been pulled up." And I happened to say, it's kind of interesting because I was just doing a decode on it, with a wheel missing on a car in a video. Anyway, thought nothing of it. Picked up the mother-in-law. We headed on our way. I started driving, so I wasn't really paying attention to the side of the road. And of course, if I hadn't have said anything earlier, my wife wouldn't have noticed this. But there was another car just a couple of miles after we picked up my mother-in-law with a wheel missing, jacked up with a wheel missing. So there was like three cars all in a fairly short space of time, in terms of traveling in America. Anyway, very weird indeed. And then to see this on Google, again, very weird indeed. But tying back in with, I believe, that reference of It's Raining Again, okay? And subsequently it's been, raining on and off, which is, I'm going to say it's not unusual for this time of year, but it's not super common either, what we've got going on with the weather right now. Anyway, in this particular scene here, we've got Marty being reborn, so to speak, coming out of this sort of, you could almost say it's like the back alleyway now he's coming out of. Notice the red lines here for the red lips, the two sidewalls of the Vesica Pisces. Notice when he does come out of here, the Jaws reference. Now, we were having a different kind of Jaws reference. Okay, coin researcher and said, hey, don't forget about the Jaws that's over here as well. But we were having the Jaws reference in that particular video back to 007 and that character that plays Jaws with the metal teeth. Okay, again, very interesting that the way his numbers all tied into it as well. And what else was I going to say about that? There was something else that I had something in the back of my mind for that as well. Oh yeah, that was it. in the scene where Jaws in 007 meets Dolly, the blonde-haired little girl, and everybody has the Mandela effect where we're all sure that she had braces on, and that's what made that scene work. Okay, where they smile at each other. Right in that scene, he's lifting the wheel off his head as well. Okay, just more stuff tying back to this, like the wheel that fell off the cable car there, and he's lifting it off his head, and then of course Roger Moore makes some, silly joke as the Bonds do normally, and there was some reference to Taylor in that as well, and I thought that was kind of interesting with Taylor Swift. Anyway, what we have opposite here is this sort of bastardized version of what's opposite here, the temple. Okay, and this is all tying in with the Hoover Dam as well, and we've got all the Diana references in the Cafe 80s and in the newspaper that tied into the same day as the song It's Raining Again, and so we had tons of references here. Let me just show you something on the side of the wall here which I thought was interesting. Let's back it up a bit. And it's really when Jennifer's going to get taken home by those cops, the female cops, yeah, that show up. There's also that reference in the music video for It's Raining Again with the female cop, which was a huge reference. But in the background here, well, you can't really see it, but this poster says Vietnam. Okay, it says Surf Vietnam. Very interesting, because every time I see something that's Vietnam related, I always think of the Paul Hardcastle song 19. Yeah, the 19 song in Vietnam. Okay, again, that's kind of interesting because as they're going to chase after her, we see this C-25 Skyway is jammed up. They reference the 25 here. Paul Hardcastle happens to be 250 days older than Madonna. There's just little references like that pop up. Is that really what it's referencing? I don't know, but it just is kind of interesting, isn't it? That's what I think of when I see, that little reference there. But if we move on again, okay, again, kind of interesting with this image of what I would call Pacific native people, maybe. I don't quite know what painting that is, but again, this is kind of interesting with where a lot of nuclear detonations took place. What I want you to do though is note that we're inside the closet here with Jennifer, who has now sort of come to and is stuck in the house, and this is Marty Jr. here, and he's turning the TV on. So let's watch what channels he puts on and what's on those channels. And I'm just going to play it and note the channel that is right in front of his head. Okay.
Fire off. Okay, I want channels 18, 24, 63, 190.
So 109. So 9-1 is right in front of him. Okay. Note this: 9-1, 10, 9 if you like, and note what happens in this screen here.
87 weather channel.
So you see that explosion there again, a nuclear explosion most likely. Super interesting with the 9-1 reference here. Okay, the date, well, today's date, the date we've been looking at. Note the 247 down here in the corner with the weather channel. Again, that is extremely interesting with Hulk Hogan's death and all the Madonna numbers we've been looking at. There's been a hell of a lot of 247 numerology in those number jumps out to certain dates. Again, the 247 with Hulk Hogan, that is now tying us back in with Donnie Darko, and in fact later in this scene we can tie back into Donnie Darko fairly easily with the Donald Trump references that are in this scene. And Again, in Donnie Darko, in the scene where Gretchen dies, who is the the Mary character, so to speak, where Frank gets shot, she gets run over by a Pontiac Firebird. Hulk Hogan, one of the guys is dressed up as Hulk Hogan, so we have this reference back to Hulk Hogan and potentially Madonna dying in that scene. And again, we see Madonna die in the music video for the song What It Feels Like for a Girl that Guy Ritchie did. His birthday is right here as well. And she dies in the red Pontiac Firebird again in that particular music video. So tying back in with Hulk Hogan again, it just goes round in circles. We've got the breasts here. This is up on the screen comes the word tit. Okay, and obviously this is a mothering reference, and TIT, we can get the 292 numerology from that. So yeah, I mean, you're around in circles with this stuff. Obviously, here we go. Alien invasion. Again, you can get this, same as AI. You can get the 1-9 stuff from that as well. You can go around in circles with all the stuff on here. Anyway, I thought that was worth mentioning. That thing, that explosion there, that's right in front of his face. It's right in front of him. Is that what they're saying there? It's right in front of you. Look at this from Marty's perspective. Marty Jr. It's right in front of you. Anyway, and they have Marty playing, I say Michael J. Fox playing the son and the daughter in this. Okay, so they have him playing the twin towers, essentially, the two towers of the male and the female in this as well. So it's kind of interesting. Was there anything else I wanted to show in this? There was something else I wanted to mention, and that was the number jump with, and it's right here, was with Needles. Okay, because Needles shows up in the later scene where Marty, old Marty, comes home. Okay, and they've just eaten the pizza, and old Marty comes home, and Jennifer's still in the closet watching this, and Needles comes up, calls him chicken. Okay, are you chicken? Okay, and Madonna's surname, Ciccone, and then notice the 8668 here, 1968. So we have some numerology that also ties back in with Madonna. We also have the DJ, the Donald John reference with Needles here as well. Notice the 47, again, Donald Trump the 47th. Notice also that Jennifer is also aged 47 at this point as well. What else was I going to say here? And then Marty is going to get fired. Okay, so there's this Donald Trump reference with the firing. Okay, his famous line, "You're fired." And the guy that ends up doing it is more than likely a Japanese guy. And so we have this reference back to 86 again with the Japan bombings, with the atomic bombs references again, and also it's just round in circles. Anyway, I put this date in, and I actually put it in back to front, as I normally do, because I'm super dyslexic, I reckon, but whatever. But anyway, I've got it in here the right way around. Okay, 8668. Okay, and remember 68 is 86, sorry, is to get rid of, make obsolete. Okay, through to Donald Trump's birthday, 8090. So we've got Queen death date numbers. This is quite ominous showing up for this number jump here. Yeah, so Queen death date numbers 89, and again you can flip that round to 68 and then 80 back to 86, yada yada yada. Okay, I had this in the wrong way around to begin with. last year what I had 8. I had 86 in there, and again, it was coming out kind of on Donald Trump's birthday numbers, albeit 64 instead of 46. So I thought that was interesting to begin with when I had it the wrong way around, and then when I corrected it, oh blimmin' hell, it looked even more ominous. So, but again, yeah, all those tie-ins there back to this 9/1 date today. Oh, we've gone by it now. We're 2 minutes by it. So anyway, I think we've still got where I am, we've still probably got another hour, or I don't know if we're at 1 hour or 2 hours behind Vegas. But anyway, or in front of Vegas, sorry. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna leave it there for this one because I got one more video I want to do really quickly, and then that'll be a day, I suppose. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on another one soon. Right, cheers, bye.